Good evening, all. I guess the Supreme Court's going to have a bunch of cases coming up in the next following weeks, since June is considered a crazy month for the Supreme Court, since they have to get all the ending cases done now before the next session starts. So I decided I'm going to talk about some of them that's coming up. But before we get to that, could you help me out by hitting the like button and subscribing and sharing this video wherever you can? It will help me out with YouTube. So on to the Supreme Court decisions. Under religious freedom, we got Fulton versus Philadelphia, where the city can end a social services contract with a Catholic charity that refuses to screen same-sex couples as potential foster parents. The taxpayer-funded religious affiliated agency asserts its religious liberty rights, but the city calls it discrimination against a protected class. Me, way I fall on this, let the people go by who's best for the kid. I don't care if you're who you are, as long as you're going to treat the kid right, keep the kid healthy, you should be allowed to be a foster care parent. Healthcare, California versus Texas, the future of the Affordable Care Act, known as Obamacare. This is the third time in a decade-old law. It seems like it's thriving again, at least in some part. The coalitions of states led by Texas challenging a key provision, the so-called individual mandate requiring tax penalties for Americans who choose not to purchase health insurance. Congress in 2017 eliminated any penalty, and the question now, and that provision and the entire law itself still stand. I would like to get rid of Obamacare. This is bullshit. Voting rights. Brnovich versus Arizona Democratic National Committee challenged the two provisions of the Arizona voting law, which lower courts found radically discriminates against blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. The law remains in effect amid legal challenges and will prohibit so-called ballot harvesting, absentee ballots collections by third parties. This I want to get rid of. You should have to vote in person. The only people that should be allowed to vote absentee are one, military personnel that's overseas, two, diplomats overseas, and three, people that have zero chance of going to the um, polls, like someone that's getting operated that day. Just because you don't want to go and stand in line, don't mean nothing. And I was also expand the hours. It should be only on the election day, and it should be for a full 24 hours. Antitrust law, NCAA versus Olson. Whether the NCAA is illegal capping education-based benefits, specifically whether amateurism rules limiting the amount of education-related aid that student athletes may receive violates federal antitrust law. I I have no idea about this. I did not. This would be an interesting one to read. This one's up in the air for me. Next one, free speech and association. The Thomas More Law Center and Americans for Prosperity Foundation was Rodriguez. Private nonprofits and charitable trusts challenge California major donor disclosure requirement, arguing the burden of the group's non-electoral expressive associated rights. One of the group's filing suit was founded by conservative Koch brothers. Ah, yeah, you have the right to free speech, but people should know who's speaking it. I would like the list of every single donor, no matter how small it is, put up. And I also think that unions should not be allowed to endorse candidates because they cannot say 100% of their members want to go that way. Student speech. Mahoney's area school district versus BL. Free speech rights of a juvenile student when expressed off campus. Brandy Levi, a junior high school cheerleader, was kicked off the team for posting vulgar language images on Snack Chain, angrily expressing her disappointment for not making the varsity team. Unless they can prove it happened on school property, she should be allowed to say anything. And I hope the court upholds her right to use Snapchat off campus. Retirement watch for Supreme Court. Let me see. They're wanting Stephen Breyer, who turns 83 in August, to leave since Biden's in office, and they think Biden put a liberal in his place. Mhm. Yeah, so yeah, this is going to be an interesting few weeks to find out what they're going to rule on. Uh, yeah, some of them really want to rule the way I want to. The free speech one, the Obamacare. So, what do you guys think about this? Are you for or against any of these cases? Please let me know down below. And if you made it this far, could y'all hit the like button and subscribe as always. Be good and fun. Stay safe. Bye bye.